Good morning, students. How are you today? How's been the holiday so far? I hope you've been having a nice time and also paying attention to your books. We've been sending weekly assignments. I hope you've been working on that. So, as a way to keep you busy and ensure the term starts, the school has put this together. So, I'll be teaching you biology this term, and the topic we'll be starting with is regulation of internal environment. Regulation of internal environment. You know, from the word regulation, what does it mean? Regulation is coined from the word regulate, okay, to ensure things are done properly. So regulation of internal environment. At the end of this topic, you are expected to be able to list the main organs and substances involved in homeostasis. You are also expected to be able to describe the structure and functions of these organs, that is, the kidney and the liver. You are expected to name some kidney diseases and explain their symptoms and effects. You are expected to be able to name some liver diseases and explain their symptoms and effects. You should be able to discuss the remedy for unhealthy conditions of the kidney and the liver. And lastly, you should be able to explain what hormones are. Please take note of these objectives, as this will guide you to know if you have benefited maximally at the end of this topic. Now, all living organisms must be able to maintain a steady internal environment. As living things, you are expected, the normal thing is that our body system should be in a normal condition. To be able to function well, to be able to live well, the internal environment has to be maintained at a particular balance. Okay? It is at this balance that you are said to be healthy. The various organs in the body, as well as hormones and the brain, help in the maintenance of balance and proper functioning of the body. Now, the word that is used to describe the maintenance of normal balance within the body is known as homeostasis. Homeostasis, that is defined as the maintenance of a fairly constant internal environment. Now, mammalian parts involved in homeostasis. There are parts of the body, the internal organs that help to maintain a fairly constant within the body. These organs are 1. Kidney, 2. the liver, 3. the skin, number 4. the ductless glands, otherwise known as hormones. The brain, of course, is the central, okay, like the central control of all the other organs that participate in the work of homeostasis. Now, we want to talk about the structure of the kidney. But let me remind you that at a time in the past, when you were in school, we had treated the structure of the kidney when we treated a particular topic under the kidney. However, as a way to refresh your memory quickly, I will show you what the kidney looks like. Okay, you can see here the urinary tract. In the bodies of mammals, we have this system. Okay, we have this system, and each mammal has 2 kidneys. We have the left and the right kidneys, and you can see coming from the kidney the ureter. You can see the ureter projecting from the kidney, and it goes into the bladder, and projecting from the bladder is the urethra. If you cut the kidney, if you pick one kidney and you cut it down its length, you have that is the internal structure of the kidney. The kidney has an outer dark part called the cortex and a more lighter inner part called the medulla. So this is what the structure of the kidney looks like. Please also refer to your notes, what we did before now to refresh your memory on what the kidney looks like. Now, we proceed to functions of the kidney. Functions of the kidney. You know, the kidney has been listed as one of the organs that help the body to maintain a fairly constant environment. Now, what do the kidneys do? You know, remember we have two. The kidneys perform a number of functions. The number one there is osmoregulation. Osmoregulation. Okay? Osmoregulation is simply a process whereby the water content and the salt content of the body is maintained at a balance. Okay? When the water or the salt in the body of human, let me use human as an example of mama. When the water or the salt content of the body is above the balance, there will be a problem. When the water or the salt content of the body is below the balance, there will be a problem. So the process that helps to maintain this balance is what is known as osmoregulation, and the kidney helps to do that. When we have excess, there is a way the kidney helps to excrete the excess so that the balance is maintained. When we have below, there is a way the kidneys come into play to ensure there is always a balance at a particular point in time so that the body can function well. Now, a man, when the osmotic concentration of the blood is higher than that of the cell content, by means of sugar, presence of more sugar, mineral salt, amino acid, and other plasma solutes, the kidneys extract these substances from the blood or body cells by absorbing more water. More water is absorbed into the body, and you know, when you have a solute and you have more water, it helps to like dilute, okay, so that the concentration of these things is reduced in the body. Then when you have them below, when these substances are present in small amounts in the blood, it creates higher osmotic pressure in the blood cells, thus increasing the osmotic concentration. Okay, and also when it is below, what the kidney does is to excrete more water out of the body so that the concentration of these solutes can be raised. However, note that osmoregulation in man, especially the loss of water, is also carried out through sweating by the skin and expiration or exhalation by the lungs. I hope you are getting what I have been saying so far. Don't forget the topic once again: regulation of internal environment. And we are taking the various organs that are involved in the process of homeostasis. Number one there is the kidney, and we are still dealing with functions of the kidney. The first function, like I said earlier, is osmoregulation. Secondly, we want to take the second function of the kidney. We call that function the excretory function of the kidney. The kidneys are also involved in the removal of metabolic waste products from the body in form of urine. Don't forget, if you remember the definition of excretion, excretion is simply the passing out of waste products of metabolism, okay, out of the body. Why do we need to pass out waste products? Okay, it is necessary because when these products remain in the body, they become toxic, they become poison to the body. Therefore, they need for them to be sent out of the body. The process, so metabolic waste can be excreted by the urine and by the kidney in form of urine. The process involved in the formation of urine by the kidney is in three phases. The number one there is ultrafiltration. Ultrafiltration. What happens during ultrafiltration? Blood, various cells of the body carry out metabolism. They generate waste, water, excess water, some salt, okay, even proteins, everything, okay, every waste generated by different cells of the body are brought by the artery to the kidney, okay. The capillaries in the kidney are known as glomerulus. Okay, the blood, these things are carried in the blood. They are brought to the kidney. Okay, as they circulate through the capillaries or glomerulus of each Bowman capsule. Okay, let me quickly show you what that looks like. Okay. Okay, you can see that. Okay, this is a picture of the nephron, or you call it kidney tubule. Okay, and what are kidney tubules? They are just units of the kidney. You can see the Bowman capsule there. Okay, you can see the glomerulus, and you can see the afferent atrium. So blood is passed through this. As blood comes into the glomerulus, okay, the various waste products carried by the blood are filtered into the Bowman capsule. The excess water, the salt. We also have protein. However, protein molecules cannot pass through, and so they are retained in the blood, and that is why protein is not expected to be present in your urine. Okay. So, as the blood circulates through the capillaries of each Bowman capsule, water, urea, nitrogenous compounds, mineral salts, etc. are filtered into the Bowman capsule. Okay, the process of this filtering is just like you have a sieve and you are pouring something into your sieve, let's say sand mixed with water, and the sieve has tiny holes. As you are pouring the water together with the sand, what happens? The water is filtered out of the sieve the same way. So the waste are filtered into the capsule. That process is known as ultrafiltration. Now, after ultrafiltration, the second process, the second phase kick off, and that is known as selective reabsorption. Selective reabsorption. During this phase, don't forget, filtrate. The filtrate is known as glomerular filtrate. What has passed into the Bowman capsule. The filtrate, as it flows through down to the Ellis loop, you can see it there. Loop of Ellis. Okay, as it flows down, what happens at the Ellis loop? The filtrate contains water, mineral salt, urea, some of these things that are still required by the body. Those things in the filtrate that the body will still need are reabsorbed back into the blood. They are reabsorbed back into the blood, and what happens? This thing, the filtrate becomes more concentrated, as some of the water is reabsorbed back, some of the salt is taken back against a concentration gradient by active transport. I hope you still remember the word active transport. Okay? Bukola Lawal. I hope you still remember that. A woman. Okay? Active transport is simply the movement of substances from the region of lower concentration to the region of higher concentration against a concentration gradient. In your diffusion, where you have more substance, the substance will diffuse, will move to where you have less of it. But this is the opposite. It is the movement of substances from the region of lower concentration to the region of higher concentration against a concentration gradient. So these useful substances are reabsorbed back into the blood, and this is known as selective reabsorption. That will take us to the last phase. The last phase there is the action of antidiuretic hormone. What does this hormone do? This hormone merely acts to help further concentrate the urine. And once the urine is concentrated, it gradually trickles into the renal pelvis. Okay? And by peristalsis, it moves through the ureter, then to the urinary bladder. Once the bladder is full, once the bladder is full, you can see the bladder there from the urinary tract shown earlier. You can see the ureter. Once the kidney is produced, the urine trickles down, moves through the ureter, then enters the bladder. That is where it is stored. Urine is stored in the bladder, and once the bladder is full, okay, the urine is excreted through the urethra. Lastly, the last function of the kidney. Don't forget, the first function is osmoregulatory function, the second one is excretory function, and the third function there is maintenance of acid-base balance. The kidney also helps to maintain acid base in the body. Okay? What the kidney does is, when the concentration of acid in the body, okay, is more, the acid in the body fluid is more than the base, the kidney will work to excrete more acid and reduce the excretion of bases. On the other hand, when the concentration of base becomes higher, the kidney will come into play by excreting more salt while reducing the excretion of acid. Now, conditions that may affect the functioning of the kidney. Some conditions that will affect the functioning of the kidney. Number one, there is environmental temperature. Environmental temperature. When the weather is cold, during cold days, there is the tendency to urinate more than we will do on hot days. You know, during hot days, what happens? You sweat more. So water is also lost through that process, and so you will not urinate as you will normally urinate during the cold days. Then drugs as diuretics, when taken, you will urinate more because that drug will work by excreting excess water from the body. Habitat also, okay? Habitat will also affect for aquatic organisms. Okay, for aquatic organisms, especially, for example, those in fresh water. You know, those in fresh water, that is an hypotonic environment. Quickly try to bring to your memory the meaning of hypotonic. Hypotonic means the environment is less concentrated than the body fluid of the organism. Okay, so in this case, if the environment is hypotonic, the organism will take in more water, okay, and so there will be need to excrete the water when it becomes excess. An hypertonic environment means the concentration of the environment is higher than you will find in the body fluid of the organism. Lastly, to affect the functioning of the kidney is disease. Okay, we have some diseases that may affect the kidney. When these diseases come into play, what happens? The functions of the kidney will be tampered with. The kidney will not function maximally. Some of these diseases are nephritis, diuresis, kidney stones, and dropsy. Okay, we have come to the end of this class, but let's do a quick recap. A quick recap of the lesson taken for today. Don't forget, we started today regulation of internal environment. You are expected to be able to do all this at the end of this topic. We spoke about homeostasis, that is a process that the body uses to maintain a fairly constant environment, okay? And the organs involved in homeostasis: the kidney, the liver, the skin, the hormones, and the brain. Structure of the kidney, please refer to your notes, the topic done earlier. Then you can see what the kidney looks like. Functions of the kidney, we have the osmoregulatory function, the excretory function, and the function to maintain acid-base balance. We also talked about some conditions that will affect the functioning of the kidney. So with this, we have come to the end of this class. But quickly, let me draw these questions so that you can practice and have a better understanding of the topics done so far. So, assignments. thank you very much. Do feel free to drop your questions or observations on the comment section of this video. Thank you very much.